Okay, let's just think about this for a second. What if all that software you really rely on, day to day for work, maybe a side project? What if it wasn't just like affordable, but actually free? And I don't just mean some limited free version. I mean really unlimited. Features, users, everything.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds almost too good to be true, doesn't it? We're just so used to paying those subscription fees, SaaS costs that just keep going up.
Exactly. Software is usually a line item, something
Right.
you budget for. But what if that whole idea was turned on its head? And that's really the core, the kind of radical idea in the sources you shared today. So we're doing a deep dive into Linkspreed's TRIVE Technology, their big claim. Free, unlimited SaaS. And, well, how they say this connects to their vision for Web4.
Right. And our goal here really is to get under the hood of this. Like, what is the mechanism? How can they offer powerful software for free? Who's it for? What are the catches? And then the big one. How does Linkspreed think this totally different software model fits into the future decentralized internet, this Web4 they talk about?
Okay, so we're going to unpack their main idea that software is a fundamental right. We'll look at the funding model they're proposing, which is pretty unique, see how they're actually deploying this tech, understand those important disclaimers they mentioned, and then, tie it all back to this bigger picture of building decentralized digital communities.
Okay, let's start with that philosophy because it is quite provocative. The founder, Marc Herdina, makes this statement that really sets the stage. He says, and I'm quoting roughly here, SaaS technology should cost nothing. In our view, SaaS is a fundamental right. He goes on to say they're fighting for free SaaS by building super efficient tech specifically to give it away for free.
Calling software a fundamental right, that's a really powerful way to frame it. It shifts it, doesn't it, from just a business tool or a consumer good to something essential, like access to information. Suggests everyone should have it, but okay, if it's free and unlimited, the big question pops up immediately. How on earth do you pay for developing and running enterprise-level software without charging users?
And that's where the sources lay out their funding model. It's stated very clearly. TRIVE Technology is funded entirely by advertising.
Okay. So the trade-off seems simple enough on the surface. Users watch or interact with some short ads, and in return, they get full access, free, unlimited, cloud-based software. The slogan is something like advertising instead of money, scalability instead of high costs.
Right. That's the one.
Yeah.
The idea is that the ad money covers everything, development, hosting, scaling, so they can offer the full product without a price that goes up with more users or features. However, and this is a big however, funding complex business critical stuff like, say, an ERP system just with ads. Well, it immediately raises some questions, doesn't it? Like, how do you deal with ad blockers in a company setting? Or, the potential disruption if ads pop up while you're trying to run payroll or manage inventory. The sources state the model, but they don't really dig into those potential user experience issues.
That's a really crucial point. Simple on paper, maybe, but actually putting ads into complex business software smoothly without driving users crazy, that feels like a massive challenge, both technically and from a usability standpoint. Now, who is this free, ad-funded, unlimited SaaS actually for? The sources mention two main streams, don't they?
Exactly right. TRIVE Technology is sort of split. First up, there's Vertex.
Okay, and Vertex is aimed at businesses, the B2B enterprise stuff.
Yes, precisely. Vertex is for companies needing workspace SaaS. They list examples like ERP, enterprise resource planning, CRM, accounting, supply chain management, the heavy hitters. And the claim is businesses can use these in the cloud, totally free for unlimited users.
Wow. Free ERP and CRM, unlimited seats. I mean, that could be absolutely huge for startups, for small businesses maybe who just can't afford the big traditional systems or are stuck with old software. It could really lower the barrier to entry for serious operational tools. But do the sources say anything about implementation or support with this free model? Because enterprise systems, they're not always just click and go.
No, the sources we looked at don't really detail implementation support for these free tiers, which, that silence kind of hints that businesses might be mostly on their own for setup and configuration. That's a pretty standard trade-off with free models, right? Okay, so the second branch then is Origin.
And Origin sounds like it's more for individuals, developers maybe, even entertainment.
Correct. Origin is the B2C side, providing that same free and unlimited SaaS tech. So if you need personal productivity tools or developer utilities or other apps, Origin is meant to offer those without you paying directly. It's all running on that same ad-funded engine.
So they're really going after both core business functions and individual or developer use cases, all under this one. single, free, ad-supported umbrella. It's a very broad ambition trying to democratize access to all sorts of software.
It certainly is. Accessibility seems key. Now, while the big headline is free and unlimited, the sources are careful to include something they call the no-but clause. It's an important bit of transparency.
Okay, the no-but clause, what does that tell users?
Well, it basically says that even though they don't intend to just pull the plug on TRIVE Technology, Linkspreed UG, that's the company they're tapping, takes no liability regarding uptime, data storage, availability, etc., for the free software they provide. They point you to the terms and conditions for all the specifics.
That's a really significant detail, isn't it? So you get the full software features, unlimited users, great. But you can't expect the same guarantees about it always being available or your data being backed up or any kind of formal service level agreement like you'd get with paid enterprise software or even many paid prosumer tools. It really changes the expectation. It's free, yes, but it comes with, well, inherent risks around reliability and data safety.
Exactly. That's the core trade-off right there. You save money, but you potentially lose guarantees on reliability and support. The sources also throw in that the technology is powered by AI, and as we said, powered by ADS.
Okay, right. So we've got the model. Free, unlimited SaaS, funded by ads. It's split into Vertex for businesses, Origin for individuals, driven by this idea that software is a fundamental right. But with that big disclaimer about liability on the free tiers, and we also know it's powered by AI, do the sources give any hints about how AI is used? Is it like making the ads better, improving the software, something else?
The materials mention AI as part of the engine, but they don't really specify how it's applied within TRIVE. It's just listed as a component of the TRIVE technology itself, which suggests AI might be key to how the system works efficiently, or scales maybe. Perhaps managing ad delivery or optimizing the background infrastructure. But yeah, the specifics, they aren't really detailed in what we have.
Okay, so that's a bit of a black box then. We know AI is in the mix, but not exactly how it helps make the free and unlimited part possible. Now, how does all this seemingly quite radical approach to software, how does it connect to Linkspreed's bigger vision, the Web4 thing?
Yes. This is where it gets, well, potentially really impactful. Linkspreed is a big advocate for Web4. They describe it as this decentralized internet where users actually build and own their own social networks, their own online communities. The whole Web4 concept is pretty revolutionary itself, but TRIVE Technology, it's presented as this essential complementary piece to help make that vision actually happen.
So it's not just about giving free tools to existing businesses or individuals. It's about providing the foundational building blocks for these new kinds of digital communities they see coming with Web4.
Precisely. That's the connection. TRIVE is positioned as this ready-to-go, flexible, and crucially free software layer that these new Web4 communities can just use. Imagine, instead of a decentralized group having to figure out how to pay for and integrate tools for communication, or managing content, or tracking member activity, or even complex stuff, TRIVE could, hypothetically, provide all of that already integrated without the cost barrier.
Yeah, that would dramatically lower the barrier, wouldn't it? Both technically and financially. For communities trying to build sophisticated, self-run digital spaces away from the big platforms, it means they could focus more on the actual community part, rather than getting bogged down in software expenses and infrastructure headaches.
That seems to be the core proposition. By making essential software infrastructure free, the goal is to empower people, and especially these envisioned Web4 communities, to actually participate in building and running this decentralized future. It's a vision where the basic tools you need to build an online presence, or a business, or a community, they're just freely available, which could really shift who gets to build things online and what they can create.
Okay, so let's try and wrap this up. We've looked at Linkspreed's TRIVE technology, this really bold claim, almost philosophical, about free, unlimited SaaS for basically everyone. Businesses get Vertex, individuals and developers get Origin. We know it's funded by ads, supposedly powered by AI, but, and this is key, with that very clear disclaimer about no liability for uptime or data on the free version.
And it's all rooted in that core belief. Good SaaS isn't a perk, it's a fundamental right, accessible to all. They're really putting forward a model that challenges the whole subscription software world we live in.
So think about what this could mean for you. Maybe you run a small business and software costs are a killer. Maybe you're a developer looking for tools. Or maybe you're just interested in what online communities might look like in a more decentralized Web4 future. Access to powerful software might not depend on your budget anymore, according to this model.
But it does raise a really interesting final question for you to think about. Given this specific trade-off they're presenting, totally free, unlimited access, but you watch commercials, and there's that explicit lack of liability for uptime or data storage on the free tier. What does this particular model suggest about how the value of software itself might be changing?
And taking that a step further, if the fundamental tools for building and running online spaces are provided under terms like these free, but maybe less reliable, with fewer guarantees around your data, what kinds of new digital relationships might emerge? What new expectations or even maybe new vulnerabilities could we see in these decentralized Web4 spaces? It's potentially a shift not just in how we pay for software, but maybe in our whole relationship with the digital tools we depend on.